What's your plan if nuclear war breaks out between NATO and Russia? I seduce the warhead. I'm immediately going to stop paying my MasterCard. Piss and moan about the game servers being down. Jump over the shock wave. Too easy. I have keys for the local metro facilities, so building up my Fallout-esque empire I guess. Edit, to everyone asking to join me, how about a little resume? What do you bring to the table? How are your scavenging skills? Can you craft tools from rat bones? Would you pre-taste potentially radioactive water? What are your qualifications? Also to the people trying to steal my keys, good luck, I'll hide them in a place you wouldn't want to touch. I just hope it starts early in the day so I don't have to work on the day I die. Being in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., I won't even know when it happens. My family and I will be vaporized instantly. Probably for the best. The survivors are going to be in for some unimaginable hell. Die? I'm not rich enough to own a bunker and not important enough to be invited to one. Not much, I live 2 miles from the Pentagon. Take a road trip to the nearby NATO base, sit in the grass outside, open a bottle of wine and smoke a few cigarettes. When the explosion comes I want to make sure I'm in the blast radius. There is 100% chance of not suffering. I'm probably going to have to work that day. Tut to myself that we got another Fallout before the next Elder Scrolls. Then die horrifically OFC. Limber up a bit so I don't pull a muscle as I attempt to kiss my ass goodbye. I'm going to politely, but firmly, ask them both to stop fighting and talk it out. Die? What are obvious immediate giveaways that someone is an American? British man once told me he knew I was American because I was wearing a baseball cap backwards. Teeth * Americans are all about cosmetic dentistry and orthodontics, the ones that aren't are probably not able to easily afford international travel, so we don't see a lot of Americans without perfectly aligned, iridescent white teeth in the UK or Australia. Talking to strangers * Americans absolutely love talking to strangers, and when this clashes with the British imperative to avoid talking to strangers, I find it kind of hilarious. I quite enjoy when I see Americans on the tube in London, prattling away to British commuters who look like they are dying inside. Flip-flops / sandals * in warm weather you'll see Americans wearing leather flip-flops. As a flip-flop connoisseur, I'm Australian, I spot the American-style flip-flops a mile away. Dude, man. Hey, how are ye? When they say they are in Europe and not France, Germany etc. The accent. Tipping. Talking to strangers in public. After living in Germany for 2 months I was horrified when a stranger on the bus commented on my shoes. Pre-COVID having hand sanitizer clipped to their backpack. Not sure that's still as accurate today. I'm Canadian, generally Americans are far less reserved and love small talk. Ranch. My friend, Australian, walked into a McDonald's in the US and there was a man sitting at one of the tables reading a Bible and openly wearing a gun around his waist. That is a uniquely American combination. They either carry huge backpacks for a one-day trip into the jungle or carry nothing and walk in barefooted. I said y'all when I went to Europe. Immediately outed myself. Edit, a word. Edit 2, it was England. Edit 3, I've had enough people insult me for putting Europe. I'm not changing it now out of spite. Volume. Would you date a sex worker / does OnlyFans? Why or why not? No, I would not. Had a great night with a girl and once we had done the deed she felt the need to plug her OnlyFans page. Made it feel like she spent the night with me as advertisement and wanted me to become a subscriber. Personally no. One of my boyfriend's best friends is seeing a girl who does and she recently traveled to make a threesome video with 2 other people in the scene. No protection or anything was used. I'd personally be crying and throwing up watching my boyfriend fuck other women, with no protection, whether it's his job or not. So yeah, not for me. But I don't discriminate against that career path. You do you. I would say no. People don't usually see the long-term effects of that lifestyle until they want to leave it. There was an interview with Lana Rhoades, and she says looking back at her videos, it makes her want to throw up. I would not. I knew a guy who was all nah bro, it's sexy and it's no big deal when his girlfriend of 2 years started her OnlyFans. First came the undivided attention to her phone, texting guys who are sending her money. That led to her starting to do collabs with other women, which led to her getting fucked by other dudes on camera, which led to her pretty much just sidelining hey boyfriend whenever she felt like it. When she got really intimate with someone she did like 10 videos with. She once offered the guy she was dating to be a part of it, but turns out she just wanted him to film her fuck this dude she liked a lot. In the end, my friend didn't even get dumped, he just got straight up forgotten about. She just slowly started spending less and less time at their apartment until she was just gone forever. Maybe if I was really confident and secure with the woman I'm with, I'd be willing to talk about it, but there'd be a lot of boundaries and I'd wanna be the other dude on camera. Her. No. Simply because I'm completely monogamous, and I consider sexual exclusivity as part of that. For me, sending nude pictures to others during the relationship is cheating. Used to date an exotic dancer. It was painful. Would not repeat. Also been there, done that, a different and more rewarding example than you/Penguin Lego's experiences, but this was before of. She escorted and looked amazing all the time and I was okay with her seeing others for money, and she accepted me seeing others also for no money, but after 7 months she went to London against my very strong advice to see a guy who was promising a huge amount for an overnight. He took her to a hotel and after the initial meet opened the door and there were 4 other guys waiting outside who raped her. I had to get the police involved as soon as I heard and bring her back to Scotland. The police management people said all the right things, but the officers who came to visit her were visibly getting off on her story and were beasts. I could say more, but overall the police were useless at the levels where she had to interact with them face to face. They didn't really try to find the guys in the hotel, fucking ibis, cleaned the room as soon as they heard there had been an attack to try to stop their involvement in the event, much to their shame. After that she changed both physically and mentally, and while she claimed it hadn't affected her, she stopped looking good, let her hygiene standards slip and became a yoga teacher. I had insisted she stop escorting anyway after that experience. We lasted another 6 years together, but it was never the same, a slow drift apart as I really am not the yoga/spiritual type. The relationship became one of me pretty much looking after her. There are dangers in sex work. The people that I know that do it have had to compartmentalize what sex means and what's too far in terms of exploiting others, and it's changed them as people. The personality traits that have strengthened aren't ones that I value in a partner, or to be quite frank even in a friend, so I don't think I'd be able to date one. Sex work takes strength and grit, but in my experience that grit has made people I used to enjoy thoroughly abrasive. Obviously I know not all people are like that, but that's just my experience. *Quo. I didn't think anyone would read this, let alone over 2,000 upvotes and my first gold. Thanks guys. Nope. If you're dating me I've gotta be your only fan. Been there. Done that. They spend a large majority of their time on the phone. OnlyFans made things way easier for average women to get into the sex work or porn industry. They spend the whole day interacting with clients all the time. They make bank so they essentially never stay off the phone. Especially if they do text and voice services. It ends up being the only thing they do. Bathroom breaks also weren't actual bathroom breaks. They were selfie breaks and would happen when we watched movies or shows or playing video games. It was always BRB gotta pee, which ended up taking 15 minutes because they were sending nudes or lewds to guys for money. So I always sat there waiting and waiting and waiting. When they finally get off the phone the entire day went by. Very boring and inattentive, and the attention is towards the male clients they constantly have. You get treated as a nobody and your attention becomes less important to them, which in turn makes her even less attentive to you. It's not worth it. No. My wife would be furious if she found out. No, I couldn't. Also not judging them as I'd be fine being friends and would love to hear the stories. I'm way too jealous though, and that top comment about never really getting or appreciating attention would be a deal breaker. Never. Girl, do your thing, but it will be on your own. Did it, was cheated on for money. No, I don't judge them, it's their life and has nothing to do with me, but it doesn't align with my own beliefs and therefore we would not be compatible. Edit, changed a word.